Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mayor Lloyd Winnecke.
Well, good afternoon, fellow Rotarians and distinguished guests. I'm honored to stand before you as your mayor to provide the annual status report of our great city. It's with added pleasure that I welcome my mom and dad, Ralph and Shirley, and my wife, Carol. They are all three here today. Without the support of my family and so many wonderful friends in this room, I could not enjoy the success, and you all motivate me every day to have the half glass full mentality that I bring to City Hall each and every day. Last year this time I stood before you with a laundry list of projects and initiatives being spearheaded by your city government. The headline the next day read, "Expectations Exceeded." Fortunately, that continues to be a recurring reaction, whether it's in City Hall or through interactions with citizens who want to become more engaged in their community. This past year, the city's first visioning process, referred to as Voice, drew more than 3,000 citizens to speak up and relay their preferred vision for our city. The city and Leadership Evansville developed the Voice Initiative, which is about building trust among the members of our community and learning that if we all join together and have civil dialogue about our future desires and current issues, we can create a strong society that will thrive and grow. With a renewed sense of pride, optimism, and citizen engagement, our city becomes more and more vibrant each and every week. From the 42 organized voice sessions and online input, we know that our citizens desire healthy green spaces, enhanced experiences for a fun city, and a revitalized urban core. We know that regardless of their residency, an overwhelming number of our citizens understand the need for strengthening our urban core, which is why more and more people are living downtown, investing in everything from historic homes in our preservation area to modern new condominiums on Main Street. As a direct result of Voice, residents are not only suggesting major capital projects as part of their vision, but also coming up with easy and fun items such as planting 1,200 tulip bulbs near the Greenway, hosting pop-up restaurants and mob cash bars. Yes, those are good. Good things, fun things. Our downtown is blessed to have many attractions that are first class. Historic Victory Theater is home to our wonderful Philharmonic Orchestra. We have touring Broadway productions. We have an energetic farmers market, art shows, sculptural exhibits. We have a fabulously renovated Museum of Arts, History, and Science that complements our world-class Children's Museum, the Evansville African American Museum, and the Wrights Home Museum. We have a professional hockey team. In fact, some might think we've turned into a hockey town. Many of us, including me, have learned what a hat trick is and what an enforcer really means. Actually, I could use an enforcer from time to time. We have both Division I and Division II basketball with storied programs from the University of Evansville and the University of Southern Indiana. And it only made sense that the Great Lakes Valley Conference basketball tournament, men's and women's tournament, was here again this last weekend, and a special congratulations to the USI men's team for bringing home their 12th GLVC title. We wish them the best as they continue in the NCAA Division II tournament. And in just a matter of weeks, the NCAA Division II Elite Eight will be here. So that means the Division II national champion will be crowned right here live on CBS at the Ford Center, not only this year, but in 2015 as well. It's certainly been said that a community is only as strong as its center core. But fortunately for Evansville, we also have tremendous momentum on the west side with new energy being promoted from the Franklin Street Events Association. New events such as the Mardi Gras in Franklin, in addition to the famous Fall Festival hosted by the Westside Nut Club, are citizen-driven events that continue to grow. The Jacobsville Area Community Corporation is another organization that deserves recognition for their redevelopment efforts for being undertaken there and the ownership that they've taken of the annual Christmas on North Main Street parade, which is another great success. You know, sometimes communities need to reflect on their blessings and their assets. Maybe like many cities, we tend to overlook the positive, which is why everything I mentioned here so far is so important. Over the past few years, you've heard me use phrases like poised for the future, and now is the time. Well, my favorite phrase is positive progress, which I hope you would agree adequately defines our ongoing collaborative efforts to move our city forward. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks to our united efforts, the state of our city is truly invigorating and creating a new excitement for the city of Evansville. Evansville's positive progress can be attributed to a lot of fine organizations and people, both inside government and out. As we provide the annual status report of our city government, it only makes sense to recognize those who are committed to public service. Many of our city department heads are here today, and you should know that these are extraordinarily dedicated men and women who work every day to make Evansville better. Would you all please stand and be recognized? In addition, we have a number of members of our Common Council here today. Would you please stand? I think it's fair to say we don't always agree on everything. I know there are more of you than just those three. Please stand. But I think it's fair to say that unlike our friends in Washington, we do sit down and figure out how to move forward in the best possible way. A prime example of collaboration and compromise was securing the long-awaited Convention Hotel in downtown Evansville. Just yesterday, we broke ground on the new 257-room DoubleTree by Hilton with our developer HCW out of Branson, Missouri. Joining us today is President and CEO Rick Huffman and his partner Sam Cantonese. We have the H and the C in HCW. Gentlemen, would you please stand and join us? It's already been said many times that at other public events, but it's worth repeating and underscores the collaboration that goes on in our city. The combined support of the business community and the labor community was instrumental in making this project happen, and I could not be more pleased for that collaboration. And as a result of all that hard work, we're going to be open in the fall of 2015. And with that, I'm pleased to announce that we've already booked our first convention. The Indiana Association of Cities and Towns, thank you. The Indiana Association of Cities and Towns will host its annual convention in the new hotel shortly after it opens. The last time the statewide convention was here was in 2007, and the leadership of that organization is delighted to come back to Evansville. Now, as construction begins, it's now the task of Bob Warren and his capable staff, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, to recruit business back to Evansville. And Bob, I want you to know that our community is behind you, and Bob and his team will soon be breaking ground on their own attraction, a new ball field complex off of North Green River Road, which is yet another attractive selling point for our city. Now, if I gave Bob the mic, and don't worry, I won't, because we'd be here till 3, I know he would encourage all of us to get involved in the communities that we're involved with and get them to sell Evansville to them. That's our best selling point. As our visitors come to Evansville, the award-winning DoubleTree Hotel service will be awaiting for them, along with a special treat, the DoubleTree Signature Chocolate Chip Cookie, which, if you haven't noticed, is already at your place setting. That's what our visitors will enjoy when they come to town. You can wait till I'm done, that's okay. As you know, a new convention hotel has been a primary focus of officials for many years, not only to boost the convention business, but to create a much-needed economic development tool. This project will create hundreds of construction and permanent jobs, in addition to being a catalyst for growth. 2 weeks ago, I had the pleasure of joining the leadership of the Economic Development Coalition at a National Site Selector Conference to meet the professionals that work with corporations seeking to relocate or start their business operations. Let me tell you this, the business of economic development is cutthroat and very competitive. Not only do corporations want the best deal, but they also want to locate in cities that have a robust quality of life. A few weeks ago, the news of the latest unemployment numbers for our city and our region reinforced our region's efforts, as our city is experiencing the lowest unemployment rate in the past 5 years. While not every deal becomes a reality, the local economy is rebounding and growing. And while our jobs team responds to requests and proactively seeks new potential deals, the successes of 2013 were the retention and expansion of major employers such as Uniseal, SS&C, and Berry Plastics. We spent a fair amount of time in 2012 and 2013 working with our friends at Berry on separate expansion projects. As a result of that collaboration over the last 2 years, they've created 395 new jobs here in Evansville. Berry has become a tremendous driver of our local economy and to the many suppliers throughout this region. Special thanks to Jonathan Wrench and his leadership team for continuing to grow and invest in Evansville. Business startups have also been a positive niche for the Growth Alliance, utilizing the incubator space at Innovation Point and the Vandenberg Industrial Park. Involve Engineering, Inflow, Exergy Resources, Curvo are just a few of the new companies that are receiving assistance there. And frankly, the innovation and creativity of our homegrown business is inspiring and should be embraced by our entire community. A key component to ensuring our local economy grows is building a strong transportation infrastructure, whether it's for pedestrian, bike, or vehicle traffic. Significant investments have been made in repairing sidewalks, improving intersections, and paving streets. The Oak Hill Road Reconstruction project will be complete this July. I'd like to thank everyone who uses that road for their patience, especially the residents in that area. You've coped with lane closures, lane changes, limited access, and detours for the past 9 months, but the light is at the end of the tunnel. I will tell you, over the past 24 years, City Engineer Pat Keepus has been overseeing projects like Oak Hill, and is still one of the nicest people you'll ever meet in the Civic Center. After serving for 4 mayors, Pat will soon be leaving us. He'll be joining his bride-to-be in Indianapolis. Pat, I'd like to, where are you, Pat? I saw you earlier, right there. I'd like to take this time to publicly thank you for your dedication to the city. Not to mention his insights and creativity were invaluable on a certain high-profile interchange project that's in the center of our community. It's quite obvious that substantial change is occurring at the interchange of US 41 and the Lloyd Expressway. The plans remain to have traffic flowing on the new full cloverleaf in the fall of 2015. Clearing and demolition work is ongoing, and utility relocation will follow. Now, to avoid long traffic delays and disruption in the service, the Indiana Department of Transportation has developed a shorter construction timetable with practical design elements added that will produce long-term savings for this project. Those savings will benefit both the state of Indiana and the city of Evansville. The original $2.5 million investment from the Evansville Metropolitan Planning Organization will be returned, and INDOT will now cover the costs associated with the enhanced lighting at the interchange, which would have cost the city about $800,000. The collaboration on this project has been tremendous and a prime example of the innovation that's being applied. Our Parks Department continues to thrive and find efficiencies in its operations and maximize its available resources. Both an updated park master plan and greenway connectivity study will be performed this year. The previous master park plans from 2003 and 2009 both urged enhanced green space and connectivity between the city parks. Regardless, we know our parks always need work, whether it's maintenance or repurposing equipment, which is what we just recently completed at Sheridan Park on the north side. And we were very fortunate to have Lorraine Park Neighborhood Association and Councilwoman Missy Mosby take the initiative to partner with the city on a new playground equipment at Lorraine Park. That equipment at Lorraine and the park at 6th and Castleberry on the west side were installed last month, and believe it or not, have already received a lot of attention from kids in those areas. The last park master plan from 2009 recommended that a reuse redevelopment plan for Roberts needed to be developed, and that alternative uses need to focus on expansion of park and recreation opportunities. Through an extensive public engagement process, we heard the community loud and clear that the former site of Roberts Stadium should be green space. The proposed Roberts Park is a project that was based on the recommendation and desires of the citizens that participated in those meetings and submitted feedback online to our office. The citizen input has improved the conceptual plan, and as I have continually said, the land represents a unique opportunity to create wonderful green space in the heart of our city. Last year, early estimates on enhancements to the park where the former Roberts Stadium stood ranged from $6 to $8 million. Thanks to our friends at the Wellborn Foundation, our team is still working on the plan with the goal of meeting that range. However, the final product will be further based on public input and private investment. During the public review process, hundreds of comments and questions were submitted. The support for a new dog park was obvious. However, the exact location was questioned even by supporters. So we went to work with the state of Indiana. We believe the recommendation of utilizing a portion of the land next to the state hospital ground, or state hospital, already informally used for that purpose, would be ideal. And thanks to our local legislative delegation for supporting language and legislation to be approved by the General Assembly this week, we think the transfer of that land will happen soon. The connectivity between the state hospital grounds and Roberts Park via the planned pedestrian crosswalk will create a tremendous synergy. And whether you take the crosswalk or are driving past the future Roberts Park, a visible feature will certainly make a huge statement. And speaking of huge statements, we're about to make one right now. This is a great opportunity to announce that the Rotary Club of Evansville will commit $100,000 to be the sponsor of the Rotary Centennial Wetland at Roberts Park, to provide both an aesthetic and educational component of the park that will be inviting and usable by all ages. I am most appreciative of this commitment. When you hear the term wetland, you probably think of Howell wetlands. And while equally useful, the Rotary Centennial Wetland will be a special area that will incorporate the Rotary four-way test and have a natural connection to the educational programs at Westwood Nature Center, only a trail away. On behalf of the City of Evansville, I'd like to extend a special thank you to Jeffrey and the leadership team here and all who contributed to the Centennial fundraising efforts. It is our intent that the Rotary Centennial Wetland will be one of the first projects constructed in truly a public-private partnership in this new park. Well, as you know, our administration has also been engaged in the Civic Pride campaign Clean Evansville, one of our first initiatives since taking office in 2012. Since that time, we've engaged more than 3,500 volunteers and picked up over 50,000 pounds of trash. Yes, 50,000 pounds of trash. Clean Evansville's success recently earned the city the 2013 Indiana Association of Cities and Towns Community Achievement Award. This program would not be possible without the support of Keep Evansville Beautiful, Republic Services, Rural King, and volunteers from several businesses that participate in a cleanup on a monthly basis, including we have folks from Vectren, AccuRide, Fifth Third Bank, Old National Bank, and countless scout groups and church groups month in and month out. Thank you very much for making our city look and feel better.